Start. Am I started? Yeah. Hey. Okay, so finally live. I'm a little bit late. Bunch of things just happened. I was walking down 4th Avenue and, you know, all these things happen. Anyways, this is just talking about my, excuse me, my 5-2 phone's going right now. One actually needs to be charged. Hey, whoever's here. So this is, I'm trying to get my phone set up. It's being charged and it needs to be balanced. Ooh. Okay. So the second ceremony that I had of ayahuasca in Peru. So I already talked about how they make this plant, how they make ayahuasca. So ayahuasca is a tree. Hey, Cookie, thank you so much for texting me or messaging me. That touched my heart really. I appreciate that you're here and that you're like looking out for me. Yeah, so again, so how they make the plant is it comes from a tree. It's a master plant, and they take stuff from the bark and they boil it. They boil the bark and they put, I don't know how they make it completely, but they put all this stuff in it. It like turns out to be this like really thick drink. And, oh my gosh, like thinking about it makes me want to throw up because it's actually, it induces vomit. I need to eat something right now, so I'm gonna use this big spoon. But it's like this brown reddish drink. And so they make it in the daytime. I was there for the first making of it. It's like this humongous pot of all this bark from the tree, this ayahuasca tree. And just like all this bark and there was another leaf. I don't remember what the leaves were called, but it was, they mixed the plants or the leaves from another plant. They mix them together, and that's what makes like the hallucinogenic effects of, I can't see on this phone if anyone's here because the screen's cracked. That's what they make, how they make ayahuasca. And the second ceremony, we didn't have to do purge. I was thinking that we were going to have to do another day of throwing up, but it wasn't like that because there was more throwing up to do at the ceremony. So there was like one day of rest. Like we did ayahuasca 2 days before. We had 1 day of rest and reflection, and then in which we did meditation and yoga and just like calm day. Like I wasn't on my phone at all. Like I did not access my phone or my computer this whole time. And that day we I don't remember what we did in the morning. What did we do in the morning? I don't remember. But we had one meal and we didn't have dinner. Thanks, Cookie. I'm excited to share it too. We didn't have dinner. We again, the ceremony started like at 8:30 in the night, 8:30 p.m. in this like Ramada kind of building that's outdoor. It's like an enclosed building, but it had like these windows all around it, and they had this almost mesh to help like prevent mosquitoes from coming in. And oh, my phone's falling. It's really static. This other phone has, as you hear, it's falling apart. Flash gravity is my arch nemesis. Hi to whoever is on here. Thanks for, you just left. I'm on YouTube as well. So we go into this Ramada building that has this like dome at the top. No one's talking. It's like dark. You just see the moonlight. There's no lights on, and there's individual mattresses on the floor. And I went in there a little bit earlier, and I set up my space with my friend Katia and I believe Becca, and we were on the other side of the room this time. And Katia was to my right, And so I actually found this journal that I wrote, and I wrote to Katya because the next day I practiced no talking. I didn't talk the next day. And what I wrote was, and this was the 19th of February, I felt guilt. I feel guilt and shame for not following the dieta 100%. Because before I went to Peru, I had a piece of vegan chocolate cake because it was Valentine's Day. And I did have some cacao, and I had a matcha latte, which has a little bit of caffeine in it. So I didn't 100% stick to the diet, and I felt guilt for that. But what I wrote is I feel guilt and shame for not following the diet 100% and for not reading this book. And this was like a book about the Salanete, which was the company that I went with to do it's traditional Shipibo medicine retreats. And it talks about like everything, the introduction, like what the plant is, like what's gonna happen in this whole thing, who the people are, blah, 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 and like each plant that we used. And what did I write? I'm like, where did I go? Where's my stuff? I feel guilt and shame for not following the 100% and for not reading this book. I tried to surrender to Aya, but kept controlling where my thoughts went. I kept asking questions, and I told her I couldn't see her very well. She showed herself to me as an insect and told me, you're never alone. I realized I judge a lot. I knew that before, but I didn't feel peace, acceptance, or forgiveness, rather irritation and annoyance. I feel guilty for this, and I want to fully experience her, but I can't seem to give up control. I always fear that I cannot fully experience her because I died once before in my life and had a natural release of DMT from my brain. I came back alive and don't 100% understand or know what happened. I'm in a lower vibration after reading this book of the Salanete. So I felt guilt for not reading this retreat book thing, but it's like, that's okay. This was like my reflection the day after my second ceremony. So going to the second ceremony, I took the drink. I was probably like the 10th person that drank from this cup that everyone was drinking from. And I'm like, is this like the Catholic Church, when it's like you drink the wine and they have someone that cleaned it. I remember this lady, she would never clean the cup right in church. She would just like clean the back side of it where no one was drinking. And everyone was just drinking from the same babas and like the same. This was a completely different life experience. But anyways, in this retreat, we all drink from the same cup. And she would flash the light at us. We would go up to her, to the shaman, her name is Lisette. No, it's not. It's Elisa. Her name is Elisa. And she's an older woman that is just like, she was so magical. I felt like I was in a movie every time I was around her. And her life is so interesting. She just like sews all day, like clothing. She like makes clothing all day, and then she does ayahuasca every single night. And I'm like, this is like, and I guarantee you she makes millions of dollars because she had so many people there that were paying for like this experience. And they had this like huge land, and they would just like cook for people, and pretty much like a hotel. It's just like, but it's just this huge land. It's like all these houses outside, and all these like open things to. Could you tell us the story the first time you died sometime? Yeah, Cookie, I will. That was something fucking crazy when I was 15, or not when I was 15, excuse me, when I was 19. I had a natural release of DMT because I was in a car accident, and it's not like documented medically, but I believe that I died in that accident because I was in a car accident because I went somewhere when I was in that car accident, and I woke up like a year later. I was in a coma, and I went through so much physical trauma. Like, so I was in a wheelchair. I had a brain injury. I had a spinal cord injury. I had like all these things that happened to my body. And it was only like a month or two that I was asleep, and then I woke up, but I couldn't remember a year prior to that. And so I thought it was a year later than it really was. But in that accident, I went somewhere and I had a natural release of DMT because I feel like I met God there. I just didn't know or understand what happened, but that's a completely different story from this. But this is what I was afraid of. Like after I had the second experience, I was afraid that I was not fully able to experience ayahuasca because I've had that natural release of DMT. But I guess this is like something that we release when we're born and when we die. So it's like this natural chemical that is released in our body so that we are like accepting of the transition into life and then out of life, the physical form that we're in. And I was fearful that I couldn't fully experience her because of that. My second experience, I did not go that deep. It was still surface level for me. It was still very superficial. I felt a lot of, at first, I drank it and I was in meditation as best as I could. Like I was focusing on, you know, when you close your eyes and you see like that rainbow of like dots when you close your eyes. It's like you close your eyes and you see all these little dots. I've been seeing those since I was a child. I noticed that when I was a child, like 4 or 5. And I was always so curious about them. But I forgot about that for a long time in my life. And hello, lady. I am from Indonesia. My heart is only for you. Thank you. Whoever you are, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I was meditating and I closed my eyes and I started focusing on the dots. The little like blackness. You see blackness, but then you see like little different like shades of color of dots. And I was focusing on that. And then all of a sudden I just like felt this something like take me down. And I laid down and I felt like someone put this huge blanket on me. Like I could not move. Like I was just on the ground and I was like fucking floored to the ground. Like there was no fucking moving me that I mean, someone could probably move me, but there was like no moving whatsoever. But so I'm there and I start seeing this, like I felt like I had this dome, like I was in a dome building, but I my eyes were closed and I felt like I was in this room around me. Like it was an energetic room. I couldn't like physically see it, but in my mind I had this wall around me. And it was like I was standing, but I was laying down and it was like a wall like this. And I felt like I had a roof over me. And this insect came and it was this huge insect. And it came out of like, from my, like down here, my peripheral view. And I saw like the butt of the insect and it turned around and I saw its face and it's like, its little like hands or tentacles or not tentacles, but like its little feet were kind of like this, and it was like going like this to me. It was grabbing me like this, and I was like, I had this sense that it was God. I knew it was like a higher power, that it was like God to me. And she said to me, and I wrote it down. She said to me, where did I write it? You know, you are never alone. And I was like, I can't see you. Show yourself to me. I can't see you, because it was like really, it wasn't blurry, but it was so dark. I felt like I couldn't see her. And she was just like holding me like this. And I was like, I can't see you. Show me yourself. I want to see you. And she wouldn't. Like, it was just not clear. It was just like vague and dark. And I just remember her face, like the insect's face, being so close to me and like kind of grabbing me and telling me that you're not alone. And I felt other feelings of annoyance come up because, you know, people around me were like throwing up, and I already threw up. I always would throw up like 3 or 4 times, and then that's when like the experience would happen. I'm just like fucking high on ayahuasca, pretty much. Yeah, it was, oh my God, it's so surreal thinking about it. And there's people around me just throwing up, and I felt annoyance, and I felt so annoyed, and again, like my first experience, I felt so annoyed and I felt irritated and I felt nothing wrong for feeling those feelings. I was like, I have no guilt or remorse for being annoyed, that I feel like perfectly fine that I'm here and this and that. And I started like having a lot of anxiety about things. Like I thought my mom died. I thought I had this like immense, like extreme feeling that like towards the end of the ceremony that my mother passed away, and she didn't. She's still here. And I wanted to go to my phone so bad and like get connected to the internet so bad, but I didn't have access to my phone. And I didn't even, you know, not that I ignored it, I kind of just didn't really worry about it. I worried about it, but I kind of just relaxed and realized that, you know, it's like everything's going to be okay. And I was like, if my mom did pass, I'm going to deal with it. But there's nothing I can do about it right now. Like I'm in fucking Peru and there's like 3 flights that I would have to take to get home anyways. And it's like really difficult to even get home. So, I was eating pancake mix out of all things. But, yeah, I was expecting to feel things like complete acceptance, things like forgiveness, complete understanding, but I felt none of that. I felt irritation. I felt a lot of surface level things. And it really showed me that there's still things within myself that doesn't allow me to go that deep. And I was so disappointed in that because I want to go deep. I want to get to a higher level of consciousness. I want to reach for the stars or do all these things, you know? And I sent request to be in your live video on this. Who are you on this? Do I know you? I don't think I know you on this. Or do you want to ask questions? Write me in the comments if you want to ask questions. I'll let you on if you want to ask questions. I'm trying to remember everything. I did not journal or video record myself afterwards, which I should have because I can't remember shit pretty much about what happened. The third experience, holy shit, it blew my mind. Okay, he denied it, whatever. But, oh my gosh, I can't even. It was so crazy. Like, I saw God. And I could barely see God. But God came to me in the form of an insect. And it was like a huge beetle. It almost looks like a palo verde beetle mixed with, I don't know if you've seen that movie. Oh my gosh, what is it called? There's this movie. It's a Spanish movie. So beautiful. It's on the tip of my tongue. Can you see it? I'm just kidding. But there's this magical like beetle fairy in that movie that comes up and it looked just like that beetle. Hi, peanut butter. Peanut butter on toast. Welcome. Yeah, it was just, I remember feeling a completion, I would say. Because I feel alone a lot of times. I feel very lonely. And not all the time, but there's some times where I do. I would say a lot of times I do, actually. And having this like connection with a higher power was so beautiful. And it just makes me realize that like so many of my thoughts and so many of my behaviors and like what I go to, like what my direct just like thought process that I go to are for surface level things. And it's like there's more to life than surface level thoughts. There's more to life than these like surface level things that we think about and that we go to. Like there's so much more meaning in life than we allow. Like we only allow so much superficial things, but we never look at like the deeper meaning of everything. And I think that in my second ceremony of ayahuasca, it made me realize that. And I honestly don't remember that much. Like I remember first being like pushed down, someone putting a blanket over me, there was no blanket over me, but my friend Katya, she told me that she could see a blanket on me. And I felt like I was so warm, even though like I had nothing, I had clothes on, but even though it was like, I was completely like bare, open, I felt so warm. And I was kind of like this, and I was just like laying to the side. And Katya actually, she was like, Jessica, she's from Austria. And she like touched my face. I felt like water was being poured on me. She touched my face and she ran her hands over my body. And she was like, Jessica, wake up. You have to wake up. She's like, let me get you to join Aya. And I was like, I didn't respond. I just didn't do anything. I just laid there. I was like, bitch, I ain't moving. Pretty much. There was no moving me. I had this like complete, like someone was pushing me down, pretty much. Like I was just like on the ground. And so cute. I think this ayahuasca experience, it lasted probably about 4 hours, and it was pretty peaceful, but I did feel a lot of feelings of irritation, annoyance, anger. I felt, it's like I've been through so much in my life, and I just need support. I need to honor myself. I need to recognize myself for like the trauma and the pain that I've been through. And like there's nothing wrong for me feeling remorse or the pain that I feel. There's nothing wrong with me feeling it. It's just part of my human experience. And I just felt like, I feel like very surface level things that are just our day-to-day kind of thoughts, if we analyze life a little bit deeper. Because before in my life, I didn't really analyze things. Like I kind of just saw things. I've always analyzed things. We all have our own way of analyzing whatever goes on in life. But thanks for everyone that's been here and that's staying right now. Sativa. Cookie Sativa. Hi, Sativa. I think I used to work with... Did I work with you at TMC? Anyways, we experience so many emotions, and we just like... We talk to ourselves a certain way. Excuse me. And we think all these things about ourselves, and it's usually like lower level things. It's like never, not saying that it's not. There are people who have positive thoughts about themselves, but there's more people who don't. And I'm included in that. I love pancake mix. I eat pancake mix raw all the time. Freaking love it. But I do plant protein. Plant protein pancake mix. It's my favorite. With dark chocolate. 100% dark chocolate. That's just my thing. But I realize it's just so much of my focus is on like lower vibration feelings and emotions. And like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, we could be so much more if we allow ourselves. We don't realize like the power that we have within ourselves. And like this second ayahuasca experience made me realize that I spend more time in lower level vibration emotions and thoughts than in like a higher vibration thought mindset. And I just had like a lot of anxiety come up. I wish I could remember everything that happened. I feel guilty for doing that too. I died once before, blah, blah, blah. I hear you. I just feel desperate to heal. I need to heal. I feel I have so many blockages and bondages that are keeping me in this. Like what I wrote in my journal is, I just feel desperate to heal and need help. I feel I have so many blockages and bondages that are keeping me in this same physical state with the same thoughts and the same experience. I'm probably making things more complicated. I feel I can't surrender and I want to. And I really tried to surrender to ayahuasca, to the grandmother, as they say. But I had trouble. You know, I still couldn't give up control. I was still trying to control a situation. Even though I had no control of my body at that moment. Like, I didn't pure poop myself, but literally I could not move. I could not move in the state that I was in. And yeah, I met God. And it was a really beautiful experience, but I also, again, I felt so many surface level feelings. God damn it, I wish I could remember everything that happened. It's so like foggy. I remembered everything the next day, but I didn't tell anyone about it because I stayed silent the whole day. I didn't speak the next day. And the reason why I didn't speak was because I felt guilt and I felt like something was wrong with me. And it's not that there's something wrong with me. Skylar, how are you doing? No idea what I came into. Good evening. Hi, I'm talking about my experience in ayahuasca in Peru. And this is the second ceremony that I did. My first recording is in my channel if you want to go look at it and read that. Yeah, it was still so surface level. And like I wanted to go deep in my mind and I couldn't give it up. I couldn't give up control. I couldn't give up bullshit. I couldn't give up like needing to be right. I couldn't give up my ego. And even though I feel like I've repeated myself so many times, I still had healing. I asked ayahuasca to heal my spine because I had a spinal cord injury when I was younger. And it happened in my growing years. So, and my spine's a little bit different. There's someone here. Huh. Weird. My spine, it's a little bit different. And it's slightly off. And physically, you know, when your spine is out of alignment, it causes complications in life. And I mean, I guess I'm very blessed to be able to have that opportunity to know what that feels like. It's not even just physical things. Like there's some parts of my body that I can't feel because of it. And there's like some movements that I can't do. And sometimes I can't walk or I need help to walk. I need like a cane or something to help me walk. But on a spiritual sense, like our spinal cord is like the gateway to heaven pretty much, like in our physical form. And a big reason why I did this ceremony in Peru, like these 3 ceremonies of ayahuasca, was to heal my spine and to help my spine realign itself. And I asked for ayahuasca to heal me and she said no. And I'm not really sure. I don't understand why. I'm like a little pissed about that. I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, well, fuck you. Hey, Cassie. Love you. I'm in a new house, by the way. You should come over sometime. I bought a house and I got a car. So a lot of things have changed since we last saw each other. What about asking God during the experience? Why ask the spirit of ayahuasca can't spell it. It's okay. It's yeah, ayahuasca, like I've spelled it with the W too, but it's AWAUHUASCA, ayahuasca. I asked God a lot of questions and I couldn't hear God's response. It was like very foggy and dark that I couldn't really, I saw God and God came to me in the form of a beetle or an insect. And I couldn't, like God, like the beetle face got so, like was like this to me and grabbed my face like that. And I know I fell the other day, so I will cut my hand. But God told me that know that you're not alone. Because that's something that I experience a lot is loneliness and being alone. I feel like I'm alone in this world, even though there's billions of people in this world. I spend, most of the time I spend is with myself, which is fine, but it's like, I think that there's a disconnection with myself and the world around me. And it's been like that since I had like my brain and spinal cord injury. And I'll be in touch soon to visit. Okay, Cassie. What do you mean, word, Skylar? Yeah, so it's just, I just have to remind myself of this, like, of having faith, because I lose faith a lot. And this connection that I have with God is new to me. It's, you know, it's been with me my entire life, but I just haven't paid attention to it because I'm so about the superficial shit, all these things happening outside of me, but energetically and like what's going on inside, it's really about the way I feel. And again, this ayahuasca ceremony taught me that there's nothing wrong with the way I feel. Like if I feel anger, if I feel pain, if I feel jealousy, whatever, like there's nothing wrong with it, but they're lower level emotions and feelings and they're just projections. Skylar, just a colloquialism I use, like heard or okay, or I hear where you're coming from. Oh, for saying word, I say word. You're cute. Yeah, it was just such a crazy fucking experience, man. It's like God reminded me, and when I say God, I don't mean it like a religious sense, rather a like a spiritual sense. It's like you don't have to believe in religion to believe in a higher power. It's deeper than that. It's more than that. There's someone that came on here that was just left, but whatever, screw you, whatever. Anyways, again, I'm retelling a lot of this because there's new people coming on here. A second ayahuasca experience. I drank the drink, which was freaking difficult. It's just like this, it's like this thick ass drink. And I believe Jesus is God, but he can talk through all the lens colors of life. Yep. Yeah, I believe in Jesus too, but Jesus is one of my spiritual teachers. And he is God, but I believe that we are all gods ourselves. We're just unaware of it. Jesus was gifted with his ability to be enlightened and alive in his human form. Heard it makes you throw up and feel like shit. Reminds me of shrooms, but more intense. Yeah. So the ayahuasca, oh my gosh, thinking about it gives me shivers, honestly. It's like a really thick drink. And it's, I want to throw up thinking about it, honestly. It's like a shot of this like thick liquid. Yeah, that's how you spell ayahuasca. Oh my gosh, it's so thick. And, you know, like immediately when I drank it, I was like, not gagging, but became so nauseous. And I threw up probably 30 or 40 minutes after I drank it, and I was just like, oh. Which actually reminds me, I'm gonna get something to show you what I saw, because I'm just remembering what I saw is the way that we breathe, and the way that we breathe, and the way that we live life, the way that we do everything was all in like a form of shapes. Like I can't even, like exteriorly, I can't even express what I saw, because it was like a shape that I'm having such a hard time process it in like the physical world. And like shrooms for me, LOL, throwing up 30 minutes. Yeah. So you'll throw up like within the first hour, but some people throw up the entire time. And there was this one guy who was like violently throwing up, like violently throwing up the entire time. And I'm like, dude, stop making yourself throw up. And this guy would like stick his hand like so far in his mouth and just like vomit. And I'm just like, dude, stop making yourself throw up. Just throw up once, or throw up however many times you need. Like I automatically threw up 3 times, and it was like forced by some, like by God. Like God reached his hands in my fucking throat and pulled out whatever shit was in my stomach. And it's like this brown red stuff that comes out. So like shrimp, I got that. Like guitar chord is shapes. Yeah, and you know what? Skylar, it did come out like a guitar chord. That's what it was. It was like strumming like music, like the way we breathe. I saw lungs, like the shape of lungs. I saw it in a way that was like music. It was like the way we breathe, the way that we talk, the way that we do everything was just like music. And I drew something. Let me actually, I can't take you with me, YouTube, but I'll be right back. I'm gonna take you guys with me. I can't believe I did this. I drew something that was, where is this? Of course, there's so much shit everywhere. So what I found, or what I drew, was this in the ayahuasca ceremony. So I saw lungs like that, and this was a shape that I saw. That was life to me. I saw this is how life is. And as weird as that sounds, like that symbol, here, I'm back to you guys on YouTube. This is what I drew. I saw this as life, right here, this is life. And I saw this as lungs, but I saw it as like you said, Sky, like a guitar chord. And like I was just writing, and guess what? The fucking pen that I was writing with had no fucking ink. So nothing was written. Let me see what I'm like, I drew this afterwards. But what I was drawing, like, I got a pencil. And this is what I was drawing with my eyes closed. I was just like, oh, like all crazy. Like this. You can see that? That weird shit. Like it makes no fucking sense. But I saw this symbol, which was like life to me. It showed me that's what life is. That's what, I don't fucking know. It's like life is music. Life is like I saw life in a way that was just, it's hard to explain in words, but rather you feel it and you listen to it and that's just life. Okay, Skylar. Resting position is like a baby breathing from the belly. You mean like diaphragmatic breathing? Most people do it when sleep. From the diaphragm, I think, is yeah, here's the compass is the line, circle is the tension of the treble. Do you mean the treble? Like treble clef? Yeah. Such a crazy experience. Like, I don't even, like, thinking about it, I'm like, I can't believe I was just in Peru, and I was, like, on ayahuasca, like, a week ago, and I'm back in the US, and I'm back, like, to all my responsibilities, I gotta do all these things, and I'm just so blessed that I have, like, all these opportunities to leave, I hear you. It is hard to explain, yeah. Um, I feel like you kind of understand the feng shui of what I'm trying to say, of just like life is not what we think it is. Life is more of like it's a moving picture of sounds and shapes that this is what it is. Like my first experience, I saw my body. I saw my body, like the half of my body. It was cut in half, and my body was like was filled with beetles. And I saw nature, like all these. I was flying, like going through landscapes and going through nature like crazy. And I saw the way ants make their home underground. And Cass and Cookie, you guys have been here. Thank you, guys. That was just the first experience. If you listen to the first one, I saw a lot of like nature things, like ants, beetles, trees, like all kinds of stuff. It was super cool. That's wild. That's fun. Yeah, impressions that can be opened up as you focus on it in the moment of tripping, basically. Yeah. Pretty wild. You know, it's like when you're on hallucinogenics, like natural things like mushrooms or ayahuasca, things are just, I feel like life is more understood, and that it's just like it's easier to understand life, but we have all these like complicated ways of doing things or not doing things, and just being, because of our pain that we have. And in the second ceremony, it was so surface level that I couldn't go like as deep as I wanted to. Okay. Ants, like how the hive communicate moves. So Skylar, I saw ants. I saw the way they dig underground, and it was almost like a view, like a plain view of the way that they dig underground and the way that they make their homes. And I feel like I understood like their mechanics and why they do what they do, and why they like exist, or why are they like such a successful colony. It brings us back to our instincts. I thought you said intestines. We reprocess. Yeah, you can say that. What did I just remember from the second ceremony? Oh yeah, sounds and the way that we breathe. Like oh my gosh, I just remember why I felt so much irritation. I heard someone breathing. Like I felt like I heard someone was breathing in my ear, and I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop, leave me alone. And I got so irritated that like I could hear like everything in their mouth, like little like saliva, whatever. I could hear them breathing. And there was like no one next to me. There was someone next to me, but there was like nowhere near proximity to where I can hear it, where that I can hear like their breathing in their mouth, like things like that. Was it you? LOL. No, I don't think it was me, because you know what I thought? I was like, I am here. I'm laying here silently, and I'm like, why can't you behave like me? Why can't you be as good as me? And I'm like, you're over here just like locking your lips, like just breathing. And I was so irritated. And oh my gosh, it was just like my ego was so big. Like I couldn't even understand or like accept any life around me. And I was so like irritated. So what I did is I just turned the way I was laying. I just like, I think my head was like this, and then I turned like that, and I didn't hear them breathe anymore. It just like completely went away. I'd be watching the sounds of my breathing and comparing the sound to the sound I heard. Yeah. I don't know, it was just a lot of irritation I felt. And it was a beautiful thing, honestly. Even though I experience feelings like irritation, feelings of loneliness, feelings of anger and judgment against myself and other people, it was like there was nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the way I felt. And I've always felt like shame for being human. I felt shame for like being judgmental, and I felt shame for like having super just like freaking high standards. I don't know. And this ceremony just taught me I don't fucking matter. I don't fucking matter how I feel or what I think. I am right. And there's nothing wrong with the way I feel. And so is everyone else. Everyone else is right. No one is wrong in this world. And that I just need to focus on myself. And I knew that before. I knew that beforehand. That it was like a deeper understanding. And I want to say, like, you know, there's a lot of things that I know prior to doing ayahuasca. I know just like the importance of life, the importance of a holistic lifestyle, the importance of like a connection with the higher power, and just having faith. But it's like there's so many surface level things that I worry about, and so many like anxieties that I have that don't make any sense. So many like surface level things. Instead of like me listening to my intuition, like I'm gonna listen to my anxiety. It makes no sense. So what are you seeing, Skylar? Fun hearing your experience, comparing my own similarity. Have you done ayahuasca before? Be watching the sounds. Okay. I recently listened to Proverbs, the first seven-ish chapters that put me in my place. Are you talking about the Bible? Hard to explain. Like, not all of my emotions were valid. Some things were out of perspective because I wasn't thankful for other things. So it's definitely important to be in gratitude and be thankful, but also recognize yourself in your human experience. Like, I believe, and I found certain things. Okay, the Bible, I figured. There are certain things you cannot just change like from one state to another just by thinking it. You can, but you physiologically have to change before you feel something different. You have to do these physiologic changes in your body that, like, I'm needing water right now. I need a cup. 1 second. Yeah, you have to physiologically change before you feel a different emotion. And there's so many things that we focus on that we're missing so much of life. Like, we don't realize how good life is. Like, we don't see how freaking good life is because we're so focused on what's not working. And it's like, we're fucking alive. If you can walk and you can, what's a physiologic change? So you can be in a state, Cassie, say you're angry, you're gonna feel those emotions of anger. You can't become happy and feel that emotion of happy or joy. You have to have some kind of physiologic change, which means like changes in the gas in your body. So this is done through breath work, exercising. You have to physically you have to change, literally, like in that moment. So I think like jumping jacks, cardio workout, like deep breathing. Excuse me, I'm having hiccups. Like deep breathing, you have to physiologically change before you get out of that, or to get out of that emotional state. you can go from anger to joy, but it's like that transition. It's like you're still gonna feel the lingering of that, of those emotions. Exactly. Okay. Empathy maybe versus sympathy, IDK. It was a realization of other perspective for me. Okay. Exactly. Sometimes I can. So I'm reading comments from, I'm on YouTube right now too. I'm getting all these texts. Anyways, okay. Sometimes it can be hard to focus on things to be angry about, but as you think of things to be thankful for, it also becomes easier to be thankful. There'll be a hiccup that changes the sadness to joy, like watching movies that hit just right. And it's true. That's true. It's like, I believe that we should be in the state of joy more than anything. But this second ayahuasca ceremony made me realize that I am not. That I am not as happy as I want to be. And it's because of surface level shit. Surface level shit I focus on. And like all of these things that I think I want and I need in my life, and blah blah blah, like all these needs, like we need all these services as humans. We have all these, like, there's a hierarchy of things that we need, like on the spectrum of being a freaking human being. It's hard being human, okay? And I honestly think plant medicine is so great for us to heal and make us like go deeper. Like, even though I didn't go as deep as I wanted to for this second ayahuasca experience, I still learned and I still got things out of it. Like, I saw life in shapes and symbols and sounds instead of the way I see it, like surface level physical things. Okay. How you fight against it, taking it back. Form ayahuasca. How would you fight against it, taking it back from, what do you mean, Skylar? I don't understand that question. I'm probably gonna finish here in a couple minutes, so if you guys got any more questions, let me know. I think it can be great to recognize this, but you gotta pull it out when sober too, to take something. Yeah. So like being sober and being in life normally, it's like good to take what you learn from these like plant medicine not experiments, but treatments, and try to apply it to your real life. Like those feelings that you get when you're on plant medicine, like mushrooms or ayahuasca or like a super plant or a master plant of some kind, fight to take it back, like recognizing the truths you did under ayahuasca. The changes of behavior that you did after the experience because of the experience. I hear that. So on YouTube, someone said the changes of behavior that you did after the experience because of the experience. The changes I've made, I'm doing more breath work and I'm doing more deeper reflection. I'm able to work out again. So I'm doing a lot of yoga and Pilates now, which I haven't been able to do for a couple months because of my spine. And I look normal. People would never know whatever just by looking at me, but yeah, so I've integrated things, but I have felt like a huge like roller coaster of emotions and experience it, like diving deeper for like why I feel the need to be in a relationship, like my dynamics of why I want to be in love. I mean, it's a natural thing. Like I'm 33 and I'm single, and I have such like a huge desire for a partner, and like a loving partner, and like someone that is like intentional and loving and things like that. And I feel like I am, but the last partner I had showed me that he didn't directly show me anything. But I learned from that relationship of how to improve as a partner and how to be better as a partner. And I don't remember where I was going with that. It was nice to meet you. I know you said you were about to end the stream, and I feel you on wanting to be in love. My wife is my comfort. That's beautiful. You're so blessed to have a partner, and it's such a blessing to be in like a beautiful partnership. And I'm fucking confused about life. Like, I feel like I know nothing, and I feel like there's so much about life and being human, and there's so many things that we experience, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, it's crazy. Like, I want to honestly be on plant medicine all the time. But when you take ayahuasca, you don't, I personally, when I open my eyes, how did that happen? How did I just make those? Am I still there? Yeah, I think I'm still there. Anyways, that's all I have, I think. It takes energy to be around those people. I need to be around people, but it's hard because it takes my energy. My wife didn't. I could recharge when I'm around her. That's beautiful. Feel like hearing that and meeting God, that I'm not alone. It's just something that I have to remind myself, because even though I'm having a physical experience and I am alone a lot, like I want to be in partnership with someone. That's like what I really desire, and that's like a huge dream. It's been my dream since I was a girl. There's more to life than superficial things. I think that it's just super sacred and a very special thing to experience a partnership. And I'm just really grateful that like I actually met God, and that, I know I've said this several times, but that God told me that I'm not alone, because I'm not, it's like we're in a world full of billions of people, and there's other people feeling the same way that I do. But there was just like a lot of I didn't go as deep as I wanted to. I think it's just because I couldn't give up control. And it's like, I don't understand what control that I don't want to give up. And it's like, I'm afraid of death. I'm afraid of a lot of things, like losing my ability to walk again. Like, I used to be in a wheelchair, and I'm afraid that going this deep will cause me to go back to being a wheelchair. And that's something that I don't want to experience. I want to walk. I want to be able to walk. And the reason why I did ayahuasca is to help heal my spine. And same, I love to be alone because I recharge, but I have to remind myself that I need people around me too, even if it tires me out. Yeah, I hear that. It's Skylar, it's a little bit, I can't be around people all the time either. But it's like I want it. It's like I want all these things, and then when I get it, I'm just like, I can't handle this. So it's just, this experience made me realize a lot of different things, and I don't fully remember it. I should have recorded myself. I should have journaled it, and I felt like it. But I mean, this is not the only time that I'm gonna do ayahuasca. Like, I'm gonna do ayahuasca again, even though it was like so difficult. Like, it's so worth it though. I threw up a lot. I had a fast, and I went through a lot of like mentally challenging times and things, which is, it's okay. It's just part of the process. But you like my monkey earrings? I'm definitely doing it again. It's not like a once in a lifetime experience. Like, I'm doing it again. And I'm actually going to try to get Sawanete to, thanks for sharing, I'll be in touch. Love you, Cassie. The company the people that I did that coordinated me and several other people to go to Peru in this little freaking Amazonian jungle. Such an amazing experience. I'm so grateful for it. Like, I'm going to try to coordinate with them to come to Tucson and do it, because there's this beautiful land out here in Tucson that so freaking perfect for ayahuasca. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Wanting to hang out, but in the moment of not so much. Hear that? Anyways, guys, thanks so much thanks Cookie for being here. You're just so awesome. It really touched my heart how you reached out and asked me if I was willing to do it, because there's just a lot of stuff going on. It's such a magical afternoon. Yeah, so I'll do another live of my third ceremony, which was freaking phenomenal and crazy. And oh my gosh, so many things. I was like, whoa, like that blew my mind. The last one, holy crap. Yeah. Anyways, thanks guys for being here on YouTube and Instagram. I appreciate everyone that watched. Thank you. Bye. Oops.